Have you ever felt tricked by someone's argument even if you couldn't quite put your finger on why it felt wrong? That's the slippery nature of fallacies, errors in reasoning that can make arguments seem convincing even when they are based on shaky ground. Like a cosmic illusion, fallacies can lead us astray from the truth. They often exploit our emotions, biases, or lack of critical thinking to make us accept conclusions that don't logically follow the presented evidence. Think of fallacies as potholes on the road to sound reasoning. We need to be able to spot them to avoid crashing our logical vehicles. By understanding different types of fallacies, we equip ourselves to identify these logical pitfalls and become more critical thinkers, capable of constructing and evaluating arguments effectively. In the vast universe of knowledge, recognizing fallacies helps us navigate the complexities of information and arrive at more reliable conclusions. Before we dive into the world of fallacies, let's establish a common language. In logic, an argument isn't simply a heated debate, it's a structured attempt to persuade someone of a particular viewpoint using reasons and evidence. These reasons are called premises, and they form the foundation upon which the argument's conclusion rests. Imagine building a house. The premises are like the bricks, and the conclusion is the completed structure. Just as a house needs strong, well-laid bricks to stand firm, a sound argument requires valid premises that logically support its conclusion. A weak premise is like a cracked brick. It jeopardizes the integrity of the entire structure. Understanding the relationship between premises and conclusions is crucial for dissecting arguments and identifying potential fallacies. If the premises are flawed or irrelevant, the entire argument crumbles, no matter how convincing it may initially sound. There are two primary ways arguments are structured: deductively and inductively. Deductive reasoning starts with a general statement and narrows down to a specific conclusion. It's like using a telescope. We begin with a broad view of the cosmos and zoom in on a particular star. If the general statement is true, and the logic connecting it to the conclusion is sound, then the conclusion must also be true. Inductive reasoning, on the other hand, works in the opposite direction. It starts with specific observations and draws a general conclusion. Think of it like piecing together a puzzle. We examine individual pieces of evidence to form a complete picture. Inductive reasoning doesn't guarantee the truth of the conclusion, but it provides a degree of probability based on the available evidence. For instance, if we observe that many swans are white, we might inductively conclude that all swans are white. However, this conclusion could be proven wrong by a single observation of a black swan. Recognizing whether an argument uses deductive or inductive reasoning is essential for evaluating its strength and identifying potential fallacies. Formal fallacies are errors in reasoning that stem from the structure of an argument rather than the content of the premises. These fallacies violate the rules of logic, rendering the argument invalid even if the premises themselves are true. One example of a formal fallacy is the fallacy of affirming the consequent. This fallacy takes the following form: if P, then QQ is true. Therefore P is true. For instance, consider this argument: if it's raining, then the ground is wet. The ground is wet. Therefore, it's raining. The conclusion doesn't logically follow from the premises. The ground could be wet for other reasons, such as a sprinkler system. By understanding the structure of formal fallacies, we can identify when an argument has gone off the rails logically, regardless of the topic being discussed. This ability to spot structural flaws in reasoning is vital for critical thinking and effective communication.